and good morning to every one of you. So this is the last day, I think. Yeah? And how has it been going so far? Great, very good. I'm really happy to see so many young people in one venue. And I was just telling the organizers here, my son should have been here. He's 16 years old. So I gathered that some of you may have already heard about the AmBisyonNatin2040. So begging your indulgence, because some of these are probably the same things you've heard last Tuesday, but hopefully you can still learn something new. So, what is the ambition? It's actually a play of words, ambition and vision. So it's really our vision for the future, going 25 years. It's actually a vision and not a plan. Now, some people actually have difficulty trying to distinguish between vision and a plan. And my best, shall we say, explanation is something like this. So supposing I actually used to be very skinny. Did you know that? I used to be very skinny. So supposing I buy a very sexy red dress, party dress, 3 sizes smaller. That will be the vision. Yeah? Okay? I just put it on display in my closet and just look at it every day. That is the vision that I will, in a few days or a few months or a few years, I will fit into that dress. Now, if I don't do anything about it, remains a vision, still a dream, just a dream. What should be the plan? I should go on a diet, I should go on exercise, I should do lots of things. That's the difference, the vision and the plan. And they have to go together. Because the thing is, if you just do planning and implementation of the plan without a vision, then you're not at all inspired. It's actually very difficult, you know, working day in, day out, especially with this traffic. And if you're not properly motivated, it's just very, very tiring. So you really need to have both, the vision and the plan. So it's a vision, it's not a plan. We hope that it will provide an anchor for development planning for many generations, or so, at least many, across several administrations, 4 in fact, in the case of the Philippines. And we also want it to be a guide for engaging with development partners. Because sometimes development partners, of course Richard excluded, they have their own agenda. So if you do not have, if you're not really set as to what you want to achieve, then you can get swayed along the way, okay? Because there's no direction. So you really need to have that vision. This is an example of how it is to be planning without really a vision or without even bothering to find out what the aspirations of your constituencies are. So this is a picture that I took in Quezon City. As you can see, there's cars parked left and right. So there's double parking, but we're actually on the road there. We're on the middle of the road. And then, as you can see, also on the top right, I hope you can see that, there's people actually walking in the middle of the road. And the reason for that is because the cars have actually occupied the sidewalks. So this is the thing, that failure to consider the aspirations of your constituency in the country's development plan can actually lead to more problems and even chaos. Probably a long time ago, our planners, our officials didn't think that each or many Filipino families would be owning cars. And therefore, the side streets were actually very narrow. We have very wide streets over at EDSA, but our side streets are very narrow. In the rural areas, they can actually accommodate only tricycles. Do you know that? And then, we also allow the construction of houses without any garage. But as we have seen in this ambition, turns out that car ownership is a lifelong dream of many Filipino families. So either we provide the necessary infrastructure for that, the space for that, or we regulate the ownership or the owning of the garage. We have to, I think, insist on responsible car ownership. But these are things that you can find out if you just, if you just went into the, how do you say that? Well, the rigors, actually, of trying to determine what it is that they're aspiring to do. Because these are really things that they would want to do anyway, as a matter of course. But we have to be prepared for it. And so, we ask, well, first of all, we conducted focus group discussions with marginalized sectors, 42 in all, across the country. And then conducted a nationally representative survey, 10,000 Filipinos aged 15 to 50 years old. So all of you will be in that age range. We did not include those older than 50 because our questions have to do with what are your aspirations 25 years from now. And we don't want answers like, we just want a quiet life. Because then you will not have dynamism in the economy. And these are the things that we ask them broadly. What do you want to be 25 years from now? What do you want to have? And if you've already achieved this, what is it that you still want to do 25 years from now? And overwhelmingly, we can actually summarize those different aspirations into just this phrase: Matatag, Maginhawa, at Panatag na buhay. So for those of you who are not familiar with our language, it's actually strongly rooted, comfortable, and secure life for everyone. So we asked them to elaborate, what do you really mean by this one, that you want to have a strongly rooted, comfortable, and secure life or lifestyle? So they elaborated. It means owning at least one car. In fact, we asked them, the real question here is that, given the choice between owning a car to go to places that you want to go to or having good public transportation, what is it that you want to have? 77% said they would want to own a car. And this is not just Metro Manila respondents, this is across the country. So that means owning a car is not really a matter of convenience for them. Probably it has to do with freedom of mobility or even status. So it's a status symbol. Yeah. And therefore, this is something that we have to really prepare for as we progress, as the economy, as incomes increase, then there will be more cars. Yeah. And then another elaboration is it's about having enough money for day-to-day needs and some unexpected expenses. It's about owning a medium-sized house. Okay? The problem is, when we asked when we dug deeper into this one, they actually want, a big-sized lot in the city. So this is actually a challenge for urban planners. We need to have some social engineering, re-engineering rather, so that living in high-rise or medium-rise buildings would be also preferred. Overwhelmingly, a lot of them actually want their kids to finish college education. In fact, this is one of the very, how do you call that? A very prominent result, even in the focus group discussion, that the motivation for all these aspirations is really family. So when you ask the parents, the aspiration is always in terms of the children, that they're hoping that their children will be able to finish college, that they would have the good life, good family, etc. And when you ask the children, the aspirations actually involve the parents. I hope I can give them a good life. I hope I can afford to send them to a vacation abroad, that sort of thing. It's very, very family-oriented. But for most of them, most of the respondents, the desire is really to finish college. And our takeaway from that is, and this is a result even among the poorest of the poor, even in our focus group discussions, our takeaway from that is even the poor actually want to participate in the growth process. But they think that the only way to do that is to have a college education. And true enough, if you look at through the classified ads, yeah, what's the number one qualification there? Graduate of any four-year course. See? They actually want to be able to work. They want, they want the dignity of being able to participate in the growth process, except that we are making it too expensive for them. First, by requiring a college education. What is it that they still want to be doing? Well, a lot of them want to relax with family and friends. They want to own a business. About a third of them actually want to run their own business. And then be able to take occasional trips around the country, and some of them even going abroad for vacation. In fact, in the Philippines, the oft-cited leisure activity is taking a vacation, not playing basketball. And so, again, that's something for planners to think about. So we summarize. There were many other results in that survey, but they could actually be summarized into just these three major categories. First, about being strongly rooted. They want their lives to be strongly rooted because they live with their families, and then next, they're able to spend time with their family and friends. They want a comfortable lifestyle, one that is one wherein they have resources that are adequate for their day-to-day needs and unexpected expenses. There's guaranteed mobility, there's secure home ownership, and there's travel and vacation opportunities. One that is secure because, this is the part where they have the resources that's adequate for day-to-day needs. And where there's security of place and there's passive income during retirement. So this is the vision statement for country, that by 2040, the Philippines shall be a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor. Our people will enjoy long and healthy lives, be smart and innovative, and will live in a high-trust society. Now, the first part there is really about economic growth. It's really about incomes increasing at least 3 times, because we have already figured out how much it will take in order to have this kind of a lifestyle. But there's just some things that really money cannot buy. And that is the reason for those next statements, that we should enjoy long and healthy lives. At the moment, the life expectancy of Filipino males is just 67. Yeah. So your parents, they retire at 65 and expect to live just 2 more years. So we need to be able to, prolong that. Yeah, it's too unfair. It's too unfair. We also want that our peoples would be smart and innovative, and the reason for that is because a lot of them actually want to put up their own enterprises, their own small businesses. And if they're not innovative, then this sorts of business will not be earning enough. So just imagine, let's say in a small community, we figured about 70% actually want to be their own boss. But what if they're not innovative? What kind of business could they be opening? Probably thrift stores, mom and pop stores. Here in the Philippines, we call them sari-sari stores. 70% of them will be opening that kind of a business because they're not innovative. And if that's the case, then they will not be earning enough and they will not be able to achieve that ambition. So they need to be smart and innovative. And we would want to live in a high-trust society. So we could go to places we want to go. Okay? In and around the country and even outside the country, take vacation without having worry about your security of place, so on. So this is what we want by 2040. So this is our actually standard last slide for every time that we present this ambition. What can you do in order to help achieve this ambition? Now let me just share with you some thoughts that this is, for instance, what I would be sharing with my sons, who I told you is already 16. The challenge for the youth. First one, I think, is to guard your dreams. You're still a long, long way to getting to your productive, or your very, very productive age. Our studies have shown that for Filipinos, you get to that part at around 40 years of age. Still have a long way to go. A lot of them, a lot of what you will be achieving in life could be for reasons beyond your control. That's granted. But a lot more is really because of, decisions that you have made in your life. So guard your dreams. Next, it's about helping others to dream and to fulfill their aspirations. And third is just, go for it with persistence and grit. Let me just elaborate a bit. It's about guarding your dream. We have already said, this one, you're talking about 25 years. You're talking about 25 years. In the case of the Philippines, this means 4 presidents, 4 administrations. If you're talking local officials, you're talking about 8. That's a mighty long period. And so we want that there would be continuity in the planning, there would be continuity in the programs, that each plan will actually build on the previous and not change it unnecessarily. Because then you go, 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. What does that give you? A step backward. Yeah. So it's really about making sure that there's continuity in the plan. Pretty soon, some of you will be joining probably government or the private sector. Make sure that you have a voice in the way that these plans are being crafted. You can try also and be on the guard against rules or laws that puts you in a straitjacket for a very long period of time. The many laws that are giving us lots of headaches up until this time were actually formulated during the Commonwealth era. It takes a lot of time, actually. It takes a long time to come up with a law, to legislate a law. But it's nearly impossible to repeal a law here in the country. And so let's demand for that. Let's demand for the right to be able to review the relevance of these laws. So when your time comes, let's even as early as now, if you can actually make your voice be heard. So there are many laws that are being passed now. Make sure that they're flexible enough that they could be relevant even during the time when it's already your time to be running this country. Okay? So make sure that the continuity is there. It will take 25 years. Be on the guard against leaders who have a very short horizon, who are only after getting the short-term gains and sacrificing totally the long-term impact. Remember, it's your dream that is at stake. Okay? This is your dream. This is no longer my dream. Okay? It should be the case that your parents, that would be my generation, should be laying the foundations for you to be able to achieve your aspiration. And you can demand from us. You can always ask, so that there would be that check and balance, so to speak. Will this particular bill, will this particular law, regulation, etc., does this take into account my generation? So let's always demand that we give an answer to that question. Remember this one, this figure. I don't know if you've, this is the amount that of income that we think a family of 4 will have to earn every month in order to achieve this lifestyle. Having a car, taking occasional vacations, having a house, etc. Okay? And the amount is actually 120,000 gross monthly income for a family of size 4. So in terms of context, that actually amounts to increasing our average income per capita 3-fold in 25 years. Malaysia was able to do that in 33 years. But Korea was able to do that in 20 years. So we're somewhere in between. I think we can do it, yeah? With your help. You will be the ones, already doing the work here. So, but even if we reach that part, even if per capita income increases 3-fold, there will still be a segment of the population that will not be able to enjoy this lifestyle. But we think if you help others dream and help others fulfill their aspirations, despite earning a lower income, they can still actually be able to enjoy this kind of lifestyle. Let me just somehow illustrate how this will turn out to be. First, let's demand for very, very good public transport, okay? And then when there's already good public transport and very efficient transport, let's take that public transport, ditch the car, okay? So that they will only require 3,000 pesos per month. Let's have very competitive enterprises so that prices are, lowered, so that, especially of food, so that, families can enjoy good things, good food, even at low prices. And so we can bring this down to there, 20,000. Let's have it. Let's have socialized housing, or let's say medium-rise buildings. And instead of having 30,000, instead of requiring 30,000, this one will only, it's not working. There, 12,000 a month. And then, let's actually demand for more open spaces, more parks, so that relaxing with family and friends doesn't have to be very, very expensive. We just need 1,000 pesos a month. Then let's have, again, cheaper vacation alternatives so that you only need that one, 3,000 a month. And then, this one actually is for, again, demanding that let's have good quality education at affordable prices so that you just have to spend half of what we used to. And then a comprehensive tax reform package so that we will only need to pay 13,000 out of income, okay? And this one will amount to only 57,000 a month, not 120. And actually, if it's a 2-income earner household, yeah? So, husband and wife earning, let's say, 30 a month, then it's doable. They can enjoy this particular lifestyle. But take note that there were a lot of assumptions that went into this. We need to have a comprehensive tax reform package. We need to have, a very good housing program. We need to have competitive enterprises. We need to have efficient public transportation, good quality education that's affordable. We need to have lots of venues for relaxing, chilling with family and friends that are not expensive. So we need to think strategically about this. In fact, as youth, you yourselves can help make this, become a reality. So there are some who are not able to really afford good quality education, but probably you can. But actually, you don't really need to have, those fancy, well, you need the diploma, but in terms of where you graduated, it should not matter. Okay? So let's have more outreach activities for those studying in the very, very fancy schools to go out there and then teach those who are not having good quality education. They're getting education, they're getting the diploma, you just have to raise the quality. We need more people who will be involved in delivering or working in these competitive enterprises. Some of you studying in very good schools are being taught how to be creative, innovative. Let's put this to work and come up with affordable housing. We just finished construction of our house because I was in Australia for a while. And I realized how expensive it is really to build a house here in the Philippines. Why? Because a lot of the stuff had to be done made to order. They have to be custom tailored. It's not like in other countries where you have, prefab materials, and when you go to a certain store and you just buy, you have different sizes of windows, small, medium, large. And so you just tell your construction workers, oh, okay, I just want medium windows. And they already know what that means. Okay? In our case, you know what? Everything has to be custom built. And that's really expensive. That's why it's taking too long. What are the priority sectors that is very akin to the ambition? Housing. So if you can actually get your acts together, get into the housing-related profession, come up with innovative and affordable ways of constructing a house, okay? The materials, in fact, then you will have been doing your part to help others fulfill their aspirations. Manufacturing, so that day-to-day needs will not be very expensive. Nobody will have to go hungry. Nobody will have to, not enjoy this comfortable lifestyle. Connectivity, of course. Because, we want to go places. Like I said, leisure, vacation. That's our favorite, leisure activity. Education, services. Not just the formal education, but also those that will offer retooling services. Because we also asked people about their preferred fields of study, and it turned out to be, the usual. Teaching, IT-related, commerce, that sort of thing. But then most of them actually want to put up their own business. So they need to be able to go to take up, skills training so that they can learn how to run or manage a business. Tourism. Financial services will be very important because they will need to build up their savings in order to have what they want to have and to do what they want to do. We need to teach them about financial planning. You need to learn about financial planning, okay? Because all these things will require build-up of savings. Health services will be very important, especially because among the poor, the biggest dent on their savings is when one of their members of the family becomes sick. They really have to dig in very, very deep into their pockets, sometimes even going into debt. So we need more people who will go into the field of medical care, healthcare, delivering affordable healthcare to all. Countryside development and agricultural development. Again, because we want very competitive, vibrant enterprises, even in the countryside, okay, and even in agriculture. Now, the third one, my third advice to you is just to go for it with persistence and grit. It will take some time because, like I said, our studies show that, at age 40, that's when you will have been able to be what you want to be, okay, and have what you want to have, or starting to. But before you get to age 40, obviously you need 40 years to get to age 40. But a lot of things can happen to your friends, to yourself, to your family. Just have the perseverance and the grit. Like I said, don't lose sight of your dream. It actually helps to tell your parents and your friends about it. And when you try and come up with your aspirations, think very long term. Sometimes you just think about what you want to take up in college. Okay? That's too short a planning horizon. Think about a generation, 25 years. Okay? Because after you finish school, what then? Okay? So like for instance, when I was still much younger, my plan was, just to take my PhD, just to obtain my PhD. But after that, what next? That's a means to an end, actually. That should not be the end in itself. Okay? So like I said, just write down what your aspirations are 25 years from now. Have your friends do it as well. Discuss this with your parents so that they know. And then, for instance, when things go wrong in your family, because I have a friend who's, I was talking to the child of this friend of mine, and my friend was having some family problems, and she was actually thinking of rebelling against, and so I told her, you know what? Just remember, it's your life that will be affected. Sure, your parents are having problems, let that not affect you. Because in the end, it will be you who will bear the consequences of your wrong decision. So it's really about having the persistence and the grit. Just go for it. Just go for those dreams. So, like I said, takes persistence, takes 25 years, 4 administrations. Every time you get to be more mature, but always look back to what you were aspiring for, and always, elect the leaders that you think have that long-term planning horizon. Let me just illustrate to you what we mean by this building up. It cannot happen, all these aspirations that we want, the tripling of the per capita income, it cannot happen in 6 years' time. That aspiration that no one is poor, it's not a 6-year project. Like in this case, what do we want to happen here? For instance, for this goal to have a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor, we think that for this plan period, realistically, what we should be doing is first to lay the foundation to be able to cash in on that demographic dividend, okay? Because it doesn't happen automatically. We think that it's really about reducing inequality. We have studied why is it that poverty has not been going down as fast as we wanted it to, and we think the reason for that is really the inequality in the opportunities. And so this first plan period is about that, reducing the inequality, reducing poverty in all its dimensions. For the second plan period, it's still about the inclusive growth agenda. It's still about reducing inequality in opportunities, but by the end of that second plan period, we should have been able to eradicate extreme poverty. By the end of the third plan period, we can go for rapid growth. And by this time, because we have focused the first and the second plan periods on reducing inequality and opportunities, then when we go for that rapid growth, the benefits will be shared more broadly. And by the end of that plan period, then we can look forward to eradicating poverty in all its dimensions. Let me illustrate about having a high-trust society. High-trust society. I think that's the problem that we now have in the country. We have lost that trust in people, trust in government. We've become a low-trust society. So we should, again, strive to be a high-trust society. But again, it's not a 6-year project. I think the first plan period, can focus on building trust in government. So we want to have a government that is clean, efficient, and citizen-centered. In terms of the delivery of social services or public goods and services, we want government to be clean. We want government to be efficient, to be able to, not to require too much time for us just to be able to transact business with them. So it's about building trust in government, enforcing peace and order. We have to resume the peace talks. And let's build greater cultural awareness. And we should have more of values formation. In other countries, they really have, they really put a premium on citizenship. There's really a subject in citizenship in all levels. Second plan period, it's about promoting harmony in diversity. Let's have national unity, maintain peace and order, and we can now have a national brand. Let's create a national brand. Third plan period, it's about cultivating national pride. Edillon, Diaz. We should have many more of this, winners. We actually have a lot of winners. We just 2 weeks ago, there was a group who competed in the math contest, and Filipinos bagged the gold, but then it did not see the front page. Yeah, so we really need to do something about cultivating that national pride. Even for Edillon, it took a while before, she made the front page. And only because now she just visited the president. So it's really more of the president there. And then, by the end of these 25 years, we will be citizens living in peace and harmony and proud of our national identity. Okay? So there's that building up that we want to be able to introduce in the way we do development planning in government. We want you to demand that from us. I may not be in government, well, I will still be in government for a long time, but probably not be able to see this through. Already a bit over the hill. But the thing is, you will still be around. Some of you may even be working in government. So let's just, have this discipline of first finding out what is it that Filipinos want, and plan accordingly. And always reminding ourselves, both government and both Filipinos, those outside of government, that it's not a 6-year project. It will take time. It will take persistence and grit from all of us. So again, just to recall what this vision for a country is, that by 2040, we hope that the Philippines will be a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor. Our peoples will enjoy long and healthy lives. They will be smart and innovative, and they will live in a high-trust society. There's, like I said, so many things you can do. Probably, these are the 3 top things that you can do. Guard your dreams, help others to dream and fulfill their aspirations, and then just go for it. In the very short term, what you can do will be to like our FB page so that this gets circulated to a broader audience. That will be all. Thank you very much.